Coming at you from the bulletproof bunker just outside Celestia's castle, it's Equestria Redacted, and I am your host, Ephrom Josine. Now, as many of you know, I am recording this video during BronyCon, and will be uploading this video during BronyCon, and there's a very good chance if you watch it within a day of it being released, you'll be watching it while BronyCon is going on. So, that led to some people wondering, am I personally going to BronyCon? Well, I'm here, so the answer is obviously no. Instead, I've been spending my time doing something much more important, that being practicing the art of interpretive dance. I think I'm okay at it so far. Not great, but who really is? Unless you interpret it otherwise. Never let me do that again. Anyway, let's talk about that kid Douglas, who still has not written out and signed the cease and desist that I asked him to. Meaning that I still have politely asked him several times to immediately stop, and he just sort of refuses. He did another Young Hero video recently called Examining Lily Pete's Journey into Insanity. But I know what you're thinking. Didn't he already make a video about Lily Pete, literally called Examining Lily Pete? Yes! And in case you're wondering, yeah, it's the one that had the Lily Pete as a Nazi thumbnail. Look over there! That actually worked out kind of perfectly. And it's a long video as well. 37 minutes and 20 seconds. It only is 2 minutes and 40 seconds off from being able to be a full film, as the minimum to be a film is 40 minutes. But I haven't actually watched the video. So you know what? I have my laptop right here. As you can see, it's at the start of the video. And I'm just going to watch it. I'm going to watch, not the whole thing, but just the first 10 minutes or so. That's fair, and then maybe I'll respond to the next week, maybe I won't. It depends on how interesting the first 10 minutes are. Let's try it. The video starts out with Young Hero talking to somebody who has a kind of annoying high-pitched voice. It's not high-pitched enough to be migraine-inducing, mind you, but it's just a little bit above annoying. We also see Young Hero, who, no offense to you, dude, really can't act. I mean, first off, he looks down the entire time, and he said in the past he doesn't write scripts for most of his videos, so I don't know why this one specifically, but he's always, like, at the bottom of the shot, he looks like this, kind of. And he's always facing down, like he's scared of the fact he's on camera. Like, hey guys, Ephrom here. The mildly annoying kid, at least that's what I call him, tells Young Hero that he has an assignment, and then shows a clip of Lily Pete saying, "Self-defense is fine." Seriously, that's actually what she said in that clip. And isn't that clip over 2 years old, by the way? Causing the Young Hero to do what I'm pretty sure he thinks is anger, but may actually be the exact same reaction I have to his high-pitched voice. Or to his other... of no, 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 no. You know, like he's rejecting different foods at a restaurant. But Young Hero drinks green slime, I think. It's probably an actual alcohol, I know, but green slime is funnier. And that gives him the power to take on the evils of Lily Pete like he did a few months ago. You see why you can't really do that no reaction when you've already taken on somebody without building it up in more detail. Or maybe explaining why this particular time is bad. He doesn't do that, so it just comes off as jarring and awkward. Douglas starts the video, oddly enough, talking about Lily Pete's sister and how she apparently said that she beat up her... something, that she was beaten up by Lily Pete and therefore she ran away, and he bases this off of a huge amount of jumping, by the way. Lily Pete does say she hasn't seen her sister in years, but never because she repeatedly beat up her sister. You're just assuming at that point. First accusation of the video, and it's already complete nonsense. Then he goes on to Quillstroke for some reason. Okay, that's a weird choice. Let's read what Quillstroke said, although it's kind of hard because whatever Douglas uses to screenshot is honestly worse than basic Windows 10 software. And I know, I use basic Windows 10 software. This is from Quillstroke. Jasmine, I have no clue who that is, by the way. I have said that this in the past to others, but there is no leaking in this room. I have a zero tolerance policy. She doesn't tolerate it. So sorry for you. Sorry for this, but I can't let you stay. Top 10 saddest anime moments right there. Lily then says, victim of pedophilia being punished for speaking up. Fuck you, Quillstroke. I assume what happened there is this Jasmine person, who I probably should know but can't think of at the moment, leaked something that involved pedophilia in some way from this room, in which, if that's the case, by the way, if that is what you're leaking, your room is hiding a pedophile, then you're in the right. You are objectively in the right. I don't care about my friends. If your friends are pedophile apologists, you have bad friends. Also, there's no leaking in this room translates to we have something to hide. Now, to be fair, I'm surprised Lily Pete couldn't know that because she's not an American and she doesn't know what it's like to regularly call the police to remind them you have nothing to hide, which I do as a patriotic citizen. I may or may not have stolen that joke from the Internet Hippo Twitter account, but you'll never know. Okay, now here is the actual context for the record. Jasmine tried to accuse Bombastic Blake, who, if you do not know, is a detractor and former friend of Lily Pete, of being a pedophile because she lied about her age in order to get into an ERP with him. In which case, yeah, she sounds like a bad person. But shouldn't that be what you focus on in your "this is why you're gone" message? The, oh, by the way, you lied about your age so you could make someone else look like a pedophile, not, "Oh, how could you show these conversations, sir? I'll have you know, we are in Orthodox chat. The Orthodox levels and you are most un." In fact, Douglas, shouldn't you be pointing that out too, by the way? He doesn't point that out for the record. He doesn't point out that the chat room should have a very clear no lying about your age to make other people look like pedophiles policy. But, you know, the sacredity of the group, no one else knowing what you're up to, is much more important to these people. I don't even know if Douglas is a brownie. I don't get you people sometimes. I'm sorry, I just don't. But, you know, apparently this is Lily's fault, because Quillstroke didn't just say you lied about someone being a pedophile, and therefore, according to Douglas, Quillstroke is worried she can't adopt children or something. I'm not kidding, by the way. That's something she's worried about. Does she have fertility issues? I don't get it. But that doesn't anger Douglas nearly as much as... I'm gonna be honest, nothing angers Douglas. He can't really emote very well. But, okay, that's an ad hominem. He then talks about the Sky Pegasus reading and Melanoverse thing. Now, I happen to have watched those videos just as they came out, so I know what he's talking about. He accuses Lily of being against these two people because they read pornographic fanfiction. You're not entirely wrong when you say that. Don't get me wrong, that is an issue considering how it's kind of against YouTube's terms of service. But what, that kid Douglas, I'd argue disgustingly, and I honestly do mean disgustingly, ignores, is that these weren't just normal, like, clop fics. These are, well, Falcon. If you don't know what Falcon is, it's essentially just slang for child pornography. It wasn't that it was porn, it was that it was child porn. But that angered Douglas because Lily Pete told people to report them instead of just letting them be pedophiles. You're kind of the worst person, you know that? And by the way, he didn't even bother to make it look misleading. He actually shows clips of Lily saying these are child pornography. So, apparently, he's just a really big fan of people reading child pornography. I'm gonna stop now. Just... But Douglas has an amazing excuse. You see, they didn't write them, which is how it works apparently. Just as how, although it is illegal to make child pornography in the United States, it is not illegal to Wait, yes it is. It is still very illegal to possess child pornography. I hope you're just saying this because you really hate Lily Pete, because... My God, I'm getting all sorts of other implications from you, and I really don't want to go that far. I really don't. He then calls Lily Pete a hypocrite because you can find a picture, or a Google Drive that is supposedly linked to her that contains clop pics, as if that was the issue in the first place. It's kind of the age involved. But I'd like to read to you the text that kid Douglas puts up on screen. And he puts it up fast, and I think he uses Comic Sans, by the way. If you're wondering why this looks so crappy, it's because this folder contains child pornography, and I don't want this video getting flagged. So, to be clear, he shows child pornography in his video. He has it on his computer, which is highly illegal. And then, if you look in the description, you can find a link to a Google Drive where you can download it, which is distributing child pornography, which is also highly illegal. I don't think you thought this all the way through, Douglas. Douglas kind of annoys me, if you can't tell. Yeah, that was only about a quarter of his video, by the way. The only thing he mentions after that, at least that I could bother to watch, is he talks about Ephrom, who may or may not be real at this point. I don't know. Maybe she lives in Australia. And as we all know, Australia isn't real, so therefore Ephrom can't be real. Actually, though, I want to point this out. First off, let's just talk about someone who we've lost in the community. Someone who we've sadly lost, mind you. That being Ringo. No, not the Let's Player. We lost him a long time ago. But the Brony Twitter account. In case you don't know, I tweeted this recently about Douglas. Douglas uploaded another 40-minute video on Lily Pete. Why? Shouldn't he have said everything he needed to say the first time around? This is getting sad. Then, a very good friend of the program, by the name of Leo Convoy, tweeted this. Now, there was a tweet in between, and that was by a guy named Ringo, who essentially is complains that I'm obsessed with people he just so happens to like, while at the same time never being more than 15 minutes away anytime I tweet about someone he likes. He tweeted something about how it could be worse, it could be me, and Leo said this. Could be worse. He could be using an alt account with over 150 tweets, most of them about Lily. Come on, TFS Reborn, it's pretty obvious it's you. If you don't know, that's also someone who's commenting in the comments of my video. And then he sort of nuked his entire account after tweeting this. Grasping for straws, aren't we? I'm not the one who challenged a subsection of active community to fight them in a video. Did I do that? I don't recall doing that. Did Leo do that? Maybe. Who knows? But anyway, Ringo got scared and deleted his entire account. I would like to thank Leo for that, as even though his hot takes were entertaining, he was really just annoying. Like, half of his tweets were just calling me obsessive while he obsessed over me, because I guess that's fine, because I'm Ephrom Josine, and everything that happens against me is good. I swear, sometimes it feels like if they were to catch me tripping, they would accuse me of abusing the pavement. I'm not making that up. You know what? Let's go over to E4B. In the light of the whole Mimkage thing, she tweeted this last week. I actually may have read it on last week's show. In fact, I did. I don't know who still follows me, and I know that it's too soon for me to ask this. Then why are you? But if I do prove ellipses, if I do prove and sign, if I do show proof and signs that I have changed and improved, ellipses, will you guys forgive me for my horrible, horrible mistakes? Obviously not now, ellipses, more like in a year or two. Now, Anime Wolf Gamer puts in all caps and in bold, do not go and attack her, which is fine. And even says this, we do not support harassment. Which, you know, is fair. And Death Pony even says that he commends her for admitting her screw-ups. However, I want to point this out. They have never done that for Lily Pete. They've never said, don't attack Lily Pete. Ever. But I guess, you know, doing some imaginary crimes is better than committing theft. Or worse than committing theft. In the real world, it's better, but these people don't operate in the real world. These people are kind of insane if you haven't figured out. Let's end this by talking about Brittany. She recently had this to say. Lily's next level manipulation featuring Tara/Ebra extreme gaslighting. I've been making some disturbing connections lately. Y'all might want to sit down for this. It's gonna be a long one. Let's start off with Tara, because these people only really have 4 points left. The first sock puppet. Most of you who have been following this shitstorm for a while know that Tara was a fake account that Lily used an outlet for her most deprived sexual fantasies. But there was one other important, equally disturbing function Tara served. This is like creepypasta material. She was used to attempt to warp people's perspective on sexual abuse. Tara was openly sexually abusive to Lily on a regular basis, while not existing. Harassment, coercion, assault, even one day where she claimed to have drugged Lily's drinks all day. Citation needed. And even then, because people never make consensual arrangements like that in the real world, There are people who do have relationships by choice that are like that. I don't get it. I think people who are in those are typically, well, obviously the harassment, coercion, all that usually isn't consensual, but there are people who do have intentionally harsher relationships just because they find it enjoyable. But no, it can't be that. And again, Tara did all of this without existing. Isn't that amazing? Lily reacted to this casually, furthering my theory that you're just very paranoid. Or as if it was a mild annoyance as opposed to a very serious problem, furthering my theory that if it did happen, she agreed to it. Any time the behavior was called out by anyone, be it her friends or Tumblr followers, Lily would either brush it off or lash out as if the person expressing concern was making a big deal out of nothing. As this was going on, Lily's direct sexual harassment towards Blake and I was increasing. Again, I'm going to need a little bit more of a citation for some of these claims. Can we just pretend for a second I'm skeptical of any of these? That'd be nice. She was using Tara to convince us that this behavior was, in a way, normal by creating confirmation bias and gaslighting, trademark, everyone who knew better. Now enter Ebra. Lately, abuse accusations against Lily have been reaching critical mass, and her mental state has been slipping as she attempts every trick in the book to keep from taking responsibility for her actions. Reminder, if you honestly say, guys, we're winning, someone's having a mental breakdown, you're kind of an awful person. It's pretty obvious Ebra is a sock puppet. We don't even need to discuss that in this world. We need to discuss why that is. We need to discuss how obvious that is. For a variety of reasons. Origin story doesn't add up, but what origin story has Ebra given? She's the only member of Lily's circle that refuses to show proof of her existence. No one's ever anonymous online, or no one ever tries to be anonymous online. Her demeanor and mannerisms are identical to both Lily and Tara because no one's ever similar to each other in real life. Instead, it's actually a plot. If Tara served as Lily's sexual outlet and as a means of gaslighting, what function does Ebra serve? Ebra is not only an outlet for the range of Lily has been building up since this all started, she's also being used as another form of gaslighting. Here is my honest question to you, Brittany. If you say gaslighting enough, will your floor talk to you? That's an honest question. Ebra has openly admitted to being physically and emotionally abusive to Lily, as well as giving blatantly abusive, cruel advice to others, slapping Lily in the face, telling a follower to abandon their severely depressed friend, citation needed. And this more goes with context than anything else. If someone is actively, well, abusing you, then yeah, it doesn't matter what other issues they may have, you should probably get away from them. Lily reacts very casually to this behavior, and gaslighting anyone who You said the word of the day! I'm very annoyed with you right now. Anyone who attempts to... just buy a thesaurus! For the love of God, buy a thesaurus! We need to get that GoFundMe started. Get Brittany a thesaurus. Anyone who attempts to call it out as abuse, rather than admit her behavior is blatantly abusive, she's created another fake person in order to try and normalize it. Ebra is manipulation personified. She is being used to attempt to minimize abusive behavior and convince people that treating others that way is in any way okay and normal. This is horrifying and exactly how she used the Tara sock puppet. I would highly advise people to not take any advice Ebra gives in regards to how to handle an abusive situation or mental illness. Whether it's for yourself or someone else, Lily is dangerous, and so is her split personality. For the record, by the way, I couldn't actually find the post Brittany mentioned involving a depressed friend, and I went to her Tumblr and searched for a while, so I just don't know what she's talking about. But let's talk about this guy. His name is WST. I have no clue to pronounce this. Wisterano. That's his name now. Please, God, I'm not God, but okay. Do not ever abandon someone who is depressed, even if they are pushing you away. You know, even if they are actively abusing you, stay with them. But remember, Lily Pete is bad because she's abusive. It is difficult to figure out how to deal with it, but all you need to do is just be there. As someone who is depressed and has friends and have friends who are depressed, they have their moments where they push people away because all they think are is a nuisance and will just hurt everyone. We have medication for that, dude. They do it because they see it as a way to protect people around them rather than themselves. Of course, this ends up having the opposite. He talks about self-isolation for a bit. I just hate the kind of absolutism in that post where it's like, no, always be around these people because they'll never have any negative effects on you. But I'm being nitpicky, I know. Anyway, that's really all I have this week. That's it. I'm Ephrom, and good night.